What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm reviewing the brand new KD9 Elite. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, but with all that being said, let's get into it. So every year Nike basketball comes out with an elite version of a lot of their signature basketball models. Of course this year was no different, and this year I really wanted to try out the KD9 Elite because I like the KD9 so much. And the crazy thing is that Nike priced the Elite version the same exact price as the regular version, 150 bucks. So that really begs the question, is the KD9 Elite that much better than the regular version to where if you have the regular version you should upgrade to the KD9 Elite, or is it just not as good as the KD9 and you should avoid it altogether? I have some opinions on the topic, so without further ado, let's get into the review. So here it is, the KD9 Elite in this dark gray colorway. At first glance, the shoe looks a lot like the KD9, and to be honest, a lot of the tech on the shoe is very, very similar. And let's be honest, you kind of have to expect that, especially when the price point is exactly the same. So starting off the shoe, just like the original KD9, the upper is a one-piece construction. And just like the original KD9, you've got fly knit from the toe to the midfoot. However, on this version, the fly knit is significantly softer and thinner. It also doesn't have a backing behind it, so it's actually gonna be more breathable than it was on the KD9. Another interesting thing to notice is that the fly knit on the KD9 Elite is actually noticeably smoother to the touch than it was on the original KD9. And overall, the upgraded fly knit actually does make for a more comfortable toe to midfoot, and it's more breathable. Another big difference between the original KD9 and the KD9 Elite is this brand new lacing system. What Nike did with this lacing system is actually very similar to Flywire in that it holds the laces in place and it wraps around your foot. However, on the KD9 Elite, the Flywire is actually the same size as the laces. It's a lot beefier and actually makes the shoe look kind of more interesting in my opinion. One difference that this lacing system makes while playing is that you actually feel like you get a little bit better lockdown in the KD9 Elite just because of this more robust lacing system. Honestly, it really wasn't a crazy difference. It's more of an incremental upgrade. And if you played in the original KD9, you may notice some difference when you tighten the shoe. However, if you've never played in a KD9 at all, it's not going to be anything crazy. Moving back on the shoe, you've got my favorite change to the KD9 Elite from the KD9. And this might not be true for everybody, but I know for me, on the original KD9, this like stitch that went up and connected the fly knit to the mesh in the previous version just created this really painful pinch area that I just couldn't get over. And that's actually honestly the reason why I returned my original pair of KD9s, just because I hated that feeling and it never seemed to break in for me. But on the KD9 Elite, while you still have that stitch, they've done something a little bit different, and I'm not sure if that's just the way the tongue is constructed or maybe the overall shape of the silhouette. But whatever Nike did totally got rid of that issue for me, and now I have no problem wearing this shoe all day. That's of course if you're wearing the shoe casually. I personally wouldn't wear this casually. The only reason I was rocking this all day was just strictly for the review. Because personally, I don't love the way the shoe looks. There's a lot of other casual shoes that I'd rather rock over this, but if you have to, it doesn't look terrible. Moving up the shoe, on the top of the tongue, you've got this suede or faux suede tag that has Kevin Durant's name on it. And that tag sits right on top of the transition between the fly knit to the new material that they're using on the KD9 Elite, the neoprene. One thing I'm really glad Nike didn't bring back on the KD9 Elite was the crazy sock-like upper that they had on the KD8 Elite. That was in the running for one of the ugliest shoes of all time, if not the ugliest shoe of all time. I don't know why they did it. It was supposed to be a compression sock, but I don't know what it was compressing. It was just such a weird thing to do to a shoe. I never got it. I still don't understand it. They're not doing it in this one, but they are still using the same material. If you haven't seen my video review on that shoe, you should check it out, if only just to see the ridiculousness that is the KD8 Elite. Oh man. The KD9 Elite does still use the same neoprene material. However, instead of adopting that crazy sock-like upper, they're just using it as a slightly higher version of the original KD9, which to be honest doesn't look bad. It doesn't really do anything for me. I didn't notice any performance benefits from it, but it is a pretty soft and comfortable material. And one thing I really liked about this shoe is that they padded the heel really well. Moving on to the inside of the shoe, you have this neon green sock liner with Kevin Durant's logo in bright orange. Because we're talking about the inside of the shoe, we might as well talk about fit. And one thing I will say, if you have narrow or relatively narrow feet, you should be fine going true to size. However, if you have slightly wider feet or very wide feet, you either want to go up a half size or maybe just avoid this model. A really weird thing about this shoe is that even though I got the same size as I did with the original KD9, it for some reason is like ever so slightly longer. So I found myself having like a little bit of room in the toe that I don't usually have. I didn't hate it. It didn't really affect anything while I was playing, but it's just something to keep in mind. And hey, if you have super long, narrow feet, this might actually be a perfect fit for you. Moving back on the shoe, you've got this iridescent silver swoosh. And then finally on the back of the shoe, you've got more of that suede on the pull tab with Kevin Durant's number 35. And of course, KD's logo in bright green, which looks like in my opinion, because where's the green on the shoe other than inside the shoe? I don't get it, but hey, it's there, it stands out, that's probably what they were going for, but aesthetically, I don't love it. Something else that's interesting about the back of the shoe is that the flywire system that they use actually does wrap around the heel of the shoe, which is technically supposed to give you a little bit more heel lockdown. I personally didn't notice it too much, but the detail that actually caught my eye was that they exposed the back of this wire or lace or whatever it is, just to show you it's there. And I actually like that they do that, not only because I kind of like the way that it looks, but it also lets you know some of the tech that's going on in the shoe. Moving down on the shoe, you've got the same full-length articulated zoom unit that you had on the original KD9, and to be honest, everything from the midsole down is exactly the same as the KD9. So if you've played in that, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Nothing's different. You've got the same honeycomb traction, you've got the same midsole. The traction itself isn't bad on clean courts at all. On dirtier courts, you definitely have to wipe a bit, but it's nothing too crazy. One thing to keep in mind though about this particular colorway is that Nike used translucent rubber, and Nike's translucent rubber compound has never been too great on dustier courts. So if traction is a priority for you, you might want to wait until they come out with an outsole that has a solid rubber on it, or maybe look to a different model completely. Overall, this is a solid sneaker, a solid basketball performer, and it doesn't look too bad. And to be honest, it was a really smart move for Nike to keep the price point at $150 because the changes that they made, while visually do look pretty different, performance-wise, it's honestly a very similar sneaker. My suggestion, if you're looking to buy a pair of KD9s or KD9 Elites and you don't already have a pair, is rather than going straight to the KD9 Elite, actually look at some of the pairs of KD9s that are on sale, because performance-wise, they're gonna be very similar, and you might actually be able to find a colorway that you like better than the available KD9 Elite colorways. Because let's be real, these guys are $150, but you can find a lot of KD9s on sale for under $100, which will save you $50, because if you're just using this strictly for basketball, the performance is definitely not worth the extra $50. But if you're like me and you just need the newest thing as soon as it comes out, the KD9 Elite is not a bad option. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's throw these guys on feet and see how they look. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the KD9 Elite and if you're planning to grab a pair for yourself. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Snaps, Instagram, and on Twitter.